Welcome to the Wildflower Meadow. My name's Eve Choi and I'm the curator of horticultural and environmental education at Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park. And I'm excited to take you on a little tour to highlight some of the structures, textures, colors, and forms that inspired our theme of naturally for this year's Chrysanthemums More exhibition. As you explore the Wildflower Meadow, I invite you to take a closer look at some of the grasses and wildflowers that make up the plantings in this area. As you can see, the grasses and the wildflowers are freely intermingled in this space, which more naturally reflects the plant communities that you would find in nature. In the Wildflower Meadow, there are about 30% grasses and 70% wildflowers planted. One of the grasses is in front of me here. This is switchgrass, and its open and airy inflorescence is beautiful and delicate and provides nice structures and movement as wind comes throughout the meadow. And it provides a nice contrast to other grasses that we have in this space. Take a close look for the distinctive Canada Wild Rye grown throughout. Beautiful, curved, large seed heads. You'll see goldenrod in bloom, those pops of yellow throughout the Wildflower Meadow. However, there's other structures left behind by wildflowers that even though their color has faded, the structures are still beautiful and something to be celebrated. In particular, keep an eye out for those coneflower seed heads scattered throughout the Wildflower Meadow, and really take a close look at the detail and the intricacy and beauty of those seed heads. Keep an eye out for wild white indigo. This plant has a coarse, almost bush-like structure. You'll be able to recognize it by its distinctive and large black seed pods. These seed pods provide a nice contrast to other plants, other seed pods that you can find throughout the Wildflower Meadow, like milkweed, as you can see throughout with those distinctive, beautiful seed pods that you can experience and see throughout the season. The plant community in the Wildflower Meadow not only provide us a beautiful source of interest with the structures, the textures, and colors that these plants provide, but they also provide valuable resources, whether it's food or shelter for wildlife. As we look at the lead plant, you'll see throughout the Wildflower Meadow, it's a favorite of pollinators, but as being part of the bean and pea family, it also fixes nitrogen. And the inclusion of lead plant in the Wildflower Meadow as a nitrogen fixer helps take atmospheric nitrogen and incorporate it into a soil nutrient available for other plants. So this beautiful plant that's benefiting pollinators also helps fix nitrogen and supports the plant community around it. The Wildflower Meadow is another great example of how horticulture and sculpture come together to complement each other throughout the gardens. As you can see, we're surrounded by this beautiful natural wildflower meadow. And in the distance, we have Scarlotti by Mark de Souvero. The natural setting provides a beautiful and interesting contrast to the industrial materials used to create this sculpture. I encourage you to think deeply about not only what beautiful structures and forms that you can find in the Wildflower Meadow, but what ecological benefits do they provide? You can have both, just as nature intended.